So Alec Baldwin was filming his new movie Rust when there was an issue with a fake prop gun on set that he shot and then incidentally killed the head. I believe she's director of photography, and then it also.
So she's the woman who's behind the camera.
Yeah, and it also injured.
So
the
you know the
director.
new head of Thick Boy Creative, Mike Neal. The last movie he did, she was the same. So he was really close with her. So I met with him on Thursday. I didn't realize what's going on. He was not doing.
My friend did 4 movies.
Not
with
doing
her.
well. Yeah, terrible.
You know, I've done a lot of stuff with guns on movies. Not a lot, but enough. And first of all, it's such a controlled atmosphere when it's supposed to be, right? When you have an armor, I've never heard of a 24-year-old armor. I've never heard of that. That there are always usually men in their 50s and 60s who've been around a long time.
Apparently, what happened was
Her dad was a
they're
famous
not
armor,
the
right?
she wasn't the original armor. There was a production team that was involved with all of that. They actually had a walkout because they were complaining
They went
about
on
the work
strike.
hours. There was a strike and they
And living
replaced everyone
conditions.
last minute, and she became the head armorer that way.
And I think her dad's
it's
a
her
famous
second
armor.
job.
I think
Yeah.
her dad's a famous. He died, so she's grown up around guns.
But I asked Mike, who knows her well, who passed away, and he's saying one of the problems is, and I guess he spoke to her previously, is the budget for it. They're trying to stretch the budget so thin.
Yeah.
He was like, they just have the protocols in place. Like
Yeah.
they cut where they could all over, and then this type of shit happens.
Well, first of all, also you got the first AD, you've got the armor, you've got the stunt coordinator. There are so many people that are supposed to be here watching this. Now, I heard they were using a real gun, which is crazy. But these old 6-shooters, if you have the camera, you want to see the bullets sort of in the shot. I don't know what the fuck a real gun was doing there. I don't know how they were shooting it at the camera. None of it makes sense. But my guess is she was behind the lens trying to capture a shot, and Alec Baldwin was given the gun and he was told to shoot at camera. First of all, when you do that, you usually lock camera off and you fucking step away from camera. And there's a screen. That's always, and so when you're shooting blanks, also, what happens is whenever you shoot a blank, you always lock camera off and step away. Why? Because when you shoot, sometimes a piece of the shell that is actually holding the gunpowder and stuff, the piece of the shell can break off. So you can have fragments of metal without even knowing it in the barrel. That's why no matter what, you never ever shoot it at somebody who's actually standing there. So the whole thing makes no sense to me. I don't understand how it happened. I don't understand how the fuck he was given a real gun. I think that's what happened. I think it was a real gun. I think it had a real bullet in it.
It was a real bullet.
Yeah, it was a real bullet.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I thought at first it was exactly what happens, which is you got it with blanks, and there was a piece of the shelling in there.
No, it was real good.
Because they used the shells over and over.
But I guess
again.
what Mike was telling me is because they're out in the middle of nowhere, the production team and the actors to have fun between sets would go out and shoot real guns.
That's right.
So
So that's another thing.
Terrible.
I have never heard of ever having real guns on a set. You never do that. Like my generation of movie, like from where I'm from, you'd never ever have that. If you had a real gun on set, even a real gun that didn't have bullets, it'd be no fucking
she
way.
had a 12-year-old kid too, man. Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, it's a terrible
Horrible.
tragedy. It's tragedy for everyone.
Yeah.
Including obviously the worst for her and her family.
Yeah.
But also terrible for, I don't know what to say, it's terrible for Alec Baldwin, man.
He must be
Of
so
course it is.
traumatized. And it's not his fault.
Oh, they said he is fucked up.
Of course he is.
And the victim's father actually also came out to Alec's defense because a lot of people were calling him a murderer
Yep.
initially
Damn.
when it came
They're
out.
assholes.
And so he's
Well, he
saying
went
like
so hard
it's
on
not
Trump,
Alec
remember?
Baldwin's fault at all. He's not the reason why my daughter is gone. It's because production didn't do their job.
Yeah.
That's right. Look, it's a disaster, man.
Yeah.
All the way around. Just so
Fuck
tragic,
it.
man.
But I'm also like, I'm so amazed it happened. It's so crazy. Like
There's supposed to be so many
Doesn't make
checks
any
and
sense.
balances on
My
a
friend's
set.
a
It's
stuntman who was
insane.
just working on that particular set, you know, and he was just like, it's the craziest shit. Not on that movie. They were sharing the set, but he was like, it's just the craziest thing I've ever heard. I've never heard of anything.
Well,
like
they said, you know, when Brandon Lee died, the way that happened. So you put in like a fake bullet, but also what happens? They didn't know there's already something, I guess, in there, a casing.
So that was the
casing. They put in another fake bullet. Well, when you do that, that fake casing turns into a bullet because it's a hard piece of metal. So it'd be just like a firing a real bullet.
Yeah, apparently they wanted to get the shot with the bullet, so you could see the
So you
bullets
see
in it.
yeah.
And that bullet was in there with the
The
full
fake
load.
casing was in the back already. Someone reloaded it, so that's how he died.
Goes right into your body.
Goes right into you.
But this must have gone right into her eye.
No, chest.
It went into her chest.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was either chest or stomach. I'm sorry, chest, because it went through her chest and then hit the director in the shoulder.
Holy
Oh,
fuck.
fuck.
You're talking about a real slug, like
Yeah,
a real bullet.
terrible, fucking tragic,
I mean,
tragic, horrible.
But I mean, you're right though, because well, Brian, you were saying like how why is the assistant, whatever cinematographer, whatever she is, and the director, why are they being the gun pointed at them?
Yeah.
Like both of them.
The camera should have been locked off, but
Yeah.
also, so I don't understand that. I'm already confused about that. Second of all, the other thing I'm confused about is what the fuck was a real gun doing?
Exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
they were
Bullet.
using six
With a
shooters.
real bullet.
And when they're using six shooters, a lot of times people get geeked out and they want to have authenticity. Again, I've never heard of that. I don't know anybody who's a real armorer. Who
It's
would
tragic.
allow that.
Very tragic.
Her dad, I guess,
And what
her dad's
Mike
a
was saying,
six-shooter
what
guy.
Mike was saying, who has a lot of experience in movies, he goes, also what they're trying, I know what they're trying to do. They want the real effect from the gun as it's coming out. He goes, but even like that time of the day, the set was lit. Like you can do that in post. Like what they're going for is
Yeah.
so fucking. He was like, it makes no sense all the way around.
I don't know.
Like what they're trying to go with the actual gunfire and it come out of the gun. He's like, you can do that in post. He's like, so there was no reason she should have died.
Yeah.
Or there should have been a real gun on set.
Yeah, maybe they were trying to slow the camera down, way down, have a real.
Yep. Horrible.